When I started writing my speech several weeks ago, I decided to start by quoting Gary Trudeau, the Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist, who, when giving the commencement address in his own alma mater, said, "Commencement speeches were invented largely in the belief that outgoing college students should never be released into the world until they have been properly sedated." But I don't think he's ever been to a USC commencement. It's been a long 20 hours for some of us, but anybody who's listened to Jeannie Iwin's speech today, I hope you were all really inspired, because I was. So we stood through many speeches in the last few hours, but I will try to give you all a short, yet hopefully an inspiring send-off. So welcome, graduates, family, friends, faculty, and fellow Trojans to the USC Davis School of Gerontology commencement. I'm incredibly proud of all you graduates, and I'm also proud to celebrate my first commencement as the Dean of the USC Davis School. As you know, it's been a big year for all of us. I'd like to start by stating that I believe this is a new chapter in our school's history. We might be the oldest school of gerontology in the world, but we're entering a new era of aging research. I want to start by thanking the leaders of the school who have put together a vision for a better USC Davis School that you're all going to be proud of for many years to come. So I'd like to mention Vice Dean Kelvin Davis, Associate Dean Maria Hemke, Associate Dean for Development Jeff Cleaver, Chief Business Officer Dominic Alcucci, Special Advisor to the Dean Ed Schneider, and Head of Faculty Council and Aileen Clemens. I also want to thank all of the amazing faculty that all of the graduates know well, who really are the heart of the school, why you came here, and why you leave so inspired and capable. So again, to all the Davis School faculty. And also to all the staff that worked so hard to make this event possible, smooth, and beautiful. But mostly, I'd like to thank all of the graduates for your wisdom and vision in recognizing that you want to be part of this aging revolution. It is because of you that older adults of today and tomorrow will have a better quality of life, and we salute your potential in continuously improving it. If I may, I would like to ask each of our graduates to turn around and make perhaps the most special thank you of all. Thank your parents, family members, friends, mentors, and spouses who supported you throughout this journey. Although you're graduating today, I hope that you will remember that you are a Trojan for life. And it's okay to convert to the Trojan religion late in life, like I have, but please remember that we expect you to remain part of our family for the rest of your life, part of the USC Davis School of Gerontology family. I hope you're going to be proud of the school, and I want to give you a glimpse of some of the things we're doing and just mention some of our highlights and initiatives. Wherever you go, what we do here will continue to inspire you and ground you and be the basis of much of what you will be looking for out there. So our school is famous for a number of things. A number of centers that have been pillars of our academic activities, including the Fall Prevention Center of Excellence, the Center of Biodemography and Population Health, the Center of Free Radical Biology and Aging, the Longevity Institute, and end-of-life and palliative care programs. And in addition to these important areas that have been the foundation of your education, I believe that in years to come, we will be proud of some of the new initiatives that the school has started, including the Digital Aging Center, a new Center for Nutrition and Aging that includes a registered dietitian program that we're going to launch next year, the Aesthetics of Aging Institute that we hope to build in coming years, the Mitochondria and Aging program, and importantly, a new initiative that I think will be very exciting that's going to start this summer, the Creativity in Aging initiative that will connect the arts and gerontology. As you can see, our school is continuing to innovate and explore what it means to be at the cutting edge of aging research. This is a never-ending mission that I know each of you will pursue. 2013 graduates of the USC Davis School, I salute you and I wish you the best of luck in pursuing your goals. As champions of seniors and of the science of gerontology, I urge each of you to remain closely in touch with the school. After all, we're united by a shared dream, the dream of a better and more vibrant aging experience for all. You're going out into the real world. And while our graduates today are from a wide and diverse set of sub-disciplines, we're all part of the most important and dynamic field of the 21st century, which is gerontology, a field that encompasses nearly a fifth of our nation's GDP, from the $250 billion senior housing industry to the similarly sized senior healthcare industry. And in this environment, you will be the next generation of leaders. We expect that as you reach new heights professionally and personally, you will remain connected to your Trojan roots. Congratulations, and fight on. Next, I'd like to introduce Cameron Shelfand, who is the president of the Students of Gerontology Association. Cameron has worked in a variety of settings at the USC Davis School of Gerontology since his freshman year, including a position as an information specialist at the Fall Prevention Center, and most recently as the voice of the Davis School social media efforts. He's currently interning with the Silverado Senior Living, and from what we understand, he's doing a fantastic job. So much so that Cameron will be taking on a full-time position with Silverado upon graduation. We hope that he will be continuing at some point in our master's program, and we wish we could see more of Cameron, and we're very, very proud of him. And as part of Cameron's role as the social media voice, his desk was right next to mine over the last few months. And last night he came in and we were comparing our speeches. And I said, you know, Cameron also roasted me in the Christmas party. And I said, if you want some new material, you can still call my wife. But it's a pleasure to have had him around, and I'm sure his speech is going to tail mine.
So this is the Dean's Roast Part 2. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd first like to say how honored I am to speak in front of all of you amazing graduates of such a spectacular school. I can't say I necessarily deserve the honor, but nevertheless, I'm very honored. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cameron Chalfant, and I'm standing here before you as a graduating senior with a bachelor's in human development and aging, but we all know it as gerontology. I still don't believe that I'm here today in these robes with all these tassels and things. I keep asking myself, how can it be ending? There's no way it's been 4 years already. Well, unfortunately it has. And it has been such an amazing 4 years filled with stories and friendships. And I think I learned something here and there. So when I was thinking of what to put in this speech, I thought I'd just throw some cool facts about gerontology. Some good stat about the baby boomers, that'd be perfect, right? But then I was thinking, I realized who the audience was. We know the stats. We know why we're graduating from one of the best fields possible at the best school possible. And we know why we're going to succeed. At least I know why all of you are going to succeed. So then I thought about what a commencement speech really is. It gives advice to the graduates for the future. Well, what words of advice can I give? I don't really know anything. So the past few days I've been scouring the internet like every good scholar does, YouTubing every commencement speech and motivational speech I could. For example, Steve Jobs at Stanford's commencement, John Wooden's speech on success, Russell Baker at Connecticut, just to name a few. And after watching all those, the best advice I can give you is don't listen to me, go watch those YouTube videos. But really, I think the main point of that is, with technology nowadays, never stop learning. Just because we finished here and we've graduated, we haven't proven that we need to stop learning. All we've proven is that we know how to learn. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about what I think of the future, and then I'll stick to what I really know talking about, being a Trojan. The future. Don't be afraid of it. Pursue it and chase your dreams. I recently had a speaker in one of my entrepreneur classes, and this guy was awesome. He was like a book of advice. Anything he said or came out of his mouth was instantly I wrote it down. Well, this guy, Keith Sarlos, said not to fear the future, because fear has killed more dreams than failure could ever hope to. And it's true. When we are afraid to fail, we don't take risks and get out of our comfort zone. To ensure that we are out of our comfort zones, we have to have the philosophy to burn the ships behind us. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, what is this guy talking about? And then it started to make more sense. Well, you got here on a ship, and if you burn it down, you can't swim back home, so the only direction you can go is forward, to progress. I don't believe Keith was saying to burn the bridges behind you with your past acquaintances, but it means not to cling on to the past, and instead move forward onto the future. Therefore, your fear is driving you to succeed rather than hindering your growth. So focus on going forward. So now what I do know, being a Trojan. One of my favorite things to talk about is what it means to be a Trojan and the Trojan family. I think I enjoy it so much for two reasons. The first is my grandma is a diehard UCLA fan. It's pretty crazy. When I go over to her house, it's like a shrine to UCLA sports. So it's pretty funny to rub it in that all three of her grandsons went to USC and are Trojans. Sorry, Grandma, I hate UCLA, but I love you. And the second reason that I like talking about the Trojan family so much, our very own Dean Cohen, as he alluded, came from across town just over a year ago. And since then, whole departments at UCLA have flocked over to us. The most recent one, we acquired 100 of UCLA's faculty for a brain institute. It's pretty impressive. They're all following Dean Cohen's lead. Congratulations, Dean, on having a very successful first year, as well as making one of the best decisions you could have ever made. So the first thing I want to say about the Trojan family is that it's 100% real, all the stories you hear. When I first came to USC, one of the things that I most frequently heard was about this Trojan family, this strong network and connection. In my head, I was like, yeah, I heard you the first 100 times. But what I found through the 4 years is something so much more than that. We really are a family. We support each other. We push each other to excel, and we hope the absolute best for each other. I will always remember my freshman year, waking up on the first game day and looking out onto the sea of cardinal and gold from my 8th story window. It's hard to describe the amount of pride you feel for the school. It's that feeling you get when you hear the band play, or meeting a stranger halfway across the country and finding out that they also went to USC, that instant connection. Sometimes it's hard to put into words, but it's something about being a part of this school that fills you with such immense pride. So as I'm wrapping up, I wanted to make sure I thank the gerontology school, the faculty, the staff, the administration. They dedicate their lives to the students and are always thinking how they can make the school better. It has been an immense pleasure getting to know all of them over the past few years, and they will all be missed. Oh, I will miss them. They all deserve a round of applause and handshake after this. I'd also like to thank Maria in particular. She's really been the conductor of the school as of late, and treats the school and her students like her fourth child. Thank you, Maria, for everything you do. So I'd like to conclude with one last thank you to the friends and family in the audience. It means so much to us, the students and the gerontology community, the amazing support you give. Without the support of our friends and family, I doubt many of us would be here. I'd also like to thank the school for the amazing experience, as well as a fantastic education. And I'd also like to thank the students. Thank you for being who you are and pushing me to the fullest potential. I am proud to say that I leave this school feeling ready for the next chapter of my life. Congratulations, class of 2013. I wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors, and always remember to fight on.
Indeed. Next, we'll present the Heinz Osterberg Prize, and Dr. Caleb Finch, also known as Tuck Finch, who's the Arco and William Kishner Chair and Professor in the Neurobiology of Aging. And what I like to think of as the Renaissance man of gerontology, a scientist, an innovator, and a tremendous teacher.
So, I'd like to give honor to PhD graduate in laboratory sciences, Sebastian Brandhorst, who is a student of Walter Longo. The prize that I'm going to give is in honor of Heinz Osterberg, sitting in the front row, who was my lab manager for 25 years and trained at least 2 generations of top level laboratory scientists. The best person I've ever seen in experimental studies at the bench in how to get results. So when he retired, his admirers gave funds to the school to perpetuate an annual prize for the best thesis, and this year it goes to Sebastian Brandhorst, who is so Sebastian is working with Professor Walter Longo on this remarkable project to improve the efficacy of chemotherapy by manipulating diet. And they have some major findings that are published that have been the basis for active clinical trials. And the prize comes with a small cash gift, which Sebastian asked to be donated to a specific cause. Do you want to say something about that?
So during the Boston bombings, one of our alumnus was injured, and she's recovering now, but she still has a lot of medical expenses. So I thought it would be a nice idea to just donate that money to her.
This is a double honor to Heinz as well as to Sebastian, a very gracious and chivalrous move you have made to one of our alum. Thank you.
The next set of awards is going to be presented by Sean Kern, an assistant professor of gerontology and a great scientist.
So gerontology is truly a multifaceted discipline. Graduates from the USC Davis School have a really unique opportunity to actually learn and participate in multiple aspects of gerontology research. And these topics span from all disciplines, including biological, social, behavioral sciences, as well as studies in policy and services. The engaging awards were created to recognize and reward exceptional students that didn't just age with their program, but engaged multiple aspects that embrace the true spirit of the Davis School. Following nomination by a faculty member, the awards are given to outstanding graduates that are receiving either their bachelor's or their master's degree. And although the students are being recognized in one specific category, either research, academics, or service, it's important to note that they've actually just demonstrated excellence in all aspects of the awards. So, if I can have you come up after I read your name. In academics, Ashley Phillips. Bill Zoe. And Yushan Wong. For service, Cameron Chauhan. Emily Morgan. And Eric Byrne. And for research, Sahar Edalati. And Barbara Howard. Barbara couldn't be here, but we'll accept the award for her.
Whoa. These are tough. I'm glad, though, that last night President Nikias was doing the same thing during the baccalaureate ceremony. So next is a very special moment in the ceremony where I have the pleasure of presenting the Dean's Outstanding Faculty Award. And this year, it's going to Dr. Susan Nguidiner. Susan is the Hanson Family Trust Assistant Professor of Gerontology and also an Assistant Professor of Social Work. And for her important contributions to this interdisciplinary area, she's winning the Dean's Outstanding Faculty Award. She's an assistant professor with a great love of teaching. Susan does a fantastic job of teaching courses like the psychological and social aspects of death and dying and end-of-life care. And while many avoid talking about these topics, Susan brings a wealth of knowledge and a perspective to these important issues. Her students report that her lectures are often life-changing. They describe her as an exceptionally knowledgeable, supportive, funny, and a superb mentor. Therefore, she gets the Outstanding Teaching Award on behalf of the USC School of Gerontology, and I think there is a certificate somewhere. And I'll deliver it to your office later today. We'll continue with the recognition of more graduates that will be led by Vice Dean Kelvin Davis. Kelvin, in addition to his role as the director of the Esselperthy Anders Gerontology Center, is the James Beering Chair of Gerontology, and Kelvin was knighted by the French government last year. Kelvin, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be my very great pleasure to introduce to you our undergraduates, our certificate candidates, our master's degree candidates, and our doctoral degree candidates today. I'm going to apologize in advance for all of my mispronunciations. They're all my fault. Please excuse me. First, for the candidates for undergraduate degrees in gerontology, for minors in gerontology, we have 2 candidates, I believe. Waiting for them to appear. Just talk amongst yourselves. Something will happen very shortly. We've practiced this many times, and it's gone this smoothly every time we've done it before. Thank you. So I think we're going to go around that way. Craig? So it's Craig Hung, who has a minor in science, health, and aging. Craig? Rachel Caperno, now have a candidate for a certificate in gerontology. No, that didn't happen. So we're back, sorry, Bachelor of Science in Human Development and Aging. Candidates first, Cameron Shelton. Sahar Indalati. Sahar is also a discovery scholar. Christina Anderson Field, BS in Human Development and Aging. Virginia Sylvia Azarian. Sonia Hua. Sonia has also been my assistant in the Free Radical Institute, so congratulations, Sonia. Ani Arsin Kalangia. She's also Tom Maxson. Tom is also a Renaissance Scholar and a Discovery Scholar. Ashley Phillips, Trustee Scholar, Phi Kappa Phi. Karen May Wong, USC Davis Recognition Award, Golden Piano Guitar. Last minute exams. We'll get them through that way. Bill Zoe. and Bill is an Alpha Epsilon Delta and Pre-Med Honor Society. And now for a graduate certificate in gerontology, Brett Riley. Okay, we're now switching to master's degrees, Master of Science and Master of Arts degrees. And we have several candidates. First of all, for Nadia Suzanne Akawe, Master of Aging Services Management. Vanessa Suzanne Bronze, also Master of Aging Services Management. Eric Trung Viet Don, Master of Aging Services Management. Alice Liang, Master of Aging Services Management. Kathleen Olsowski, Master of Aging Services Management. Now we have several candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Gerontology. Tamina Mary Aziz, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Justin Eastwood, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Leora Raquel Fink, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Brian Gauthier, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Jenny Yu Ching Huang, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Joanna Herlock, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Arti Kumari, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Cheryl Lapidus, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Terry McGregor, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Suzanne Meissner, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Carrie Mullen, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Veronica Sanchez Perez, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Margaret Rossino, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Angela Whitlock, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Kristen Wilhelm, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Now we switch to candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Gerontology, beginning with Pavitra Anand, Master of Science in Gerontology. Amy Ray Bassoff, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Alyssa Bodman, Master of Arts in Gerontology. Thanks. Christine Rockwell Chow, Master of Science in Gerontology. Winnie Dan, Master of Science in Gerontology. Maria Edna Albastro de la Rosa, Master of Science in Gerontology. Lindsay Di Matteo, Master of Science in Gerontology. Stefan Gossen, Master of Science in Gerontology. Elena Teresa Gonzalez, Master of Science in Gerontology. Laura Naomi Iwata, Master of Science in Gerontology. Esther Quo, Master of Science in Gerontology. Judith Lee, Master of Science in Gerontology. Emily Claire Loynahan, Master of Science in Gerontology. Minda Lynn Miyamoto, Master of Science in Gerontology. Kara Murayama, Master of Science in Gerontology. Michelle Joy Pastrano, Master of Science in Gerontology. Kevin Proth, Master of Science in Gerontology. Jody Michelle Santos, Master of Science in Gerontology. Rachel Violet, Master of Science in Gerontology. Allison Young, Master of Science in Gerontology. Now we come to the PhD degrees. The PhD degree, the Doctor of Philosophy degree, is the highest degree that the University of Southern California confers. One must first master one subject matter in coursework and in examinations, and then take written and oral examination or qualifying examinations to prove yourself to your mentors. Then produce independent original research that significantly advances human knowledge and understanding. Finally, you must publish your work in a format that can be found by humankind. And you must defend your dissertation against attacks from the faculty. Having successfully completed these tasks, we have 3 candidates we will be presenting to you today. They'll be presented, they are Sheba Davarian, Sebastian Brandhorst, and Jennifer Green. And they'll be presented in turn by Dr. Aaron Hagedorn, Professor Walter Longo, and Professor Bob Knight. And each of these professors will actually be hooding the candidates, and the hooding part of the ceremony is the actual conferral of the doctoral degree, and you'll notice that the doctoral degrees have doctoral uniforms, so to speak, gowns, have a somewhat different look with the hood as those of us on the stage are wearing. So I'd like to call Dr. Aaron Hagedorn up to confer the first degree.
So I'm honored today to be able to normally, as a doctor of philosophy, it's our job to explore the outer boundaries of knowledge and discover something new and take us in a new direction. And normally to do that, we pick some nuance, some detail, and focus all our energies on that, and if you focus enough, you'll probably find something no one discovered. But Shiva chose something really big, hypertension, something that 75% of older people are affected by it. But only half of people actually know they're affected by it. And not only did she explore one of the most common conditions, she also looked at it in 2 different countries. Japan, the longest lived country in the world, and the United States. So Shiva came to us with a very different background, with a Master's of Science in Biology from CSUN, and research at UCLA looking at the brain of rats. And at USC, instead of taking the biology route, she used that experience, that lab research approach, to look instead at large population data and become a statistician. So Shiva did a brilliant analysis looking at predictors of hypertension and outcomes of hypertension, finding that people with hypertension score worse on certain cognitive measures, and in Japan, hypertension seems to function under different principles, which she's going to explore in a series of 3 papers. So I'd like to say congratulations to Dr. Shiva Devarian.
Congratulations to Dr. Devarian. And now I'd like to call up Professor Walter Longo and doctoral candidate Sebastian Brandt.
So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Sebastian Brandhurst. And Sebastian came in 2010 from University of Duisburg-Essen in Germany. And immediately it was very clear to me he was a great researcher, very hardworking, and also very smart. So I'm very happy he came to us. He's actually getting the degree from the German university, not from USC. But if we could, I think we would give him a USC PhD as well. And so I think Sebastian did remarkable work in his first paper, which he published within a year, which is very unusual, of his arrival at USC. And it was on radiotherapy, so the use of extreme diets to make radiotherapy more effective. And then his follow-up paper was trying to identify the components of that diet that make chemotherapy more effective against cancer and also protective for the patients. And now we're actually running multiple clinical trials based on the research that Sebastian and others have done. But I think his more remarkable work is the one he hasn't published yet. And we all have heard about regeneration, stem cell-based regeneration. And so Sebastian has taken the lead to find out how you can use these starvation, these extreme diets, these cycles of extreme diets to actually regenerate the system. So far only in mice, but we have also started a clinical trial to see whether we can do the same in humans. And so the result soon Sebastian is going to be submitting for publication show that there is a way to get multiple organs to actually regenerate and become a little bit younger during aging. So congratulations, Sebastian. Very happy that you came to USC.
Congratulations, Dr. Branthorst. Some of you may not be, just in case there's some confusion, we offer degrees in gerontology, so the PhD in gerontology, but we have other students like Sebastian who are doing degrees either at other universities or within other units at USC who are doing all their work with us in our school, and so we also include them in our program because they are our PhDs too. And now I'd like to introduce Professor Bob Knight, who will confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on Jennifer Guerin.
35 years ago, the Davis School of Gerontology undertook a collaboration with the Department of Psychology to start what at the time was one of the 2 or 3 programs in clinical psychology of aging in the United States, and is still one of the few and one of the best. And that means that in addition to the research training and the research efforts that the other people have described, Jen has also had to do clinical work both in her 5 years here at USC, and is also just now finishing a year of internship at the VA in West Los Angeles. Now, when I started in the field about 30 years ago, it was fairly broadly assumed that older adults were depressed, or at least quite sad, because after all, they're old. And one of the things that aging research has contributed to our understanding of is that, in fact, there's more of a positivity effect in aging, and in fact, with a normal, healthy aging, that older adults are actually in somewhat better mood than younger adults. The theory behind this suggests that one of the motivating factors for this is a limited future time perspective, that as we get closer to the end of life, we prioritize managing our life satisfaction and our mood over other aspects of life. And Jen's master's thesis is one of the few, perhaps the only, experimental study where she manipulated future time perspective and showed that with an expanded future time perspective, older adults were just as sad as young people, which is actually unintuitive but theoretically predicted. And that study was published about a year ago in the Journal of Gerontology, Psychological Science. It's one of the leading journals in the field. She also, in that study, did a very complex data collection of the emotion and the faces of the people that were the subject materials of the study, and that led to a couple of other students in the lab being able to get additional papers out of her data set from her master's degree. That not being complicated enough, Jen then took on looking at the effects of support for one another when older couples, older married couples, are coping with one of them having a chronic illness, specifically chronic heart failure as a disease. This was a longitudinal data set that she was able to get access to. She used a very complex mathematical analysis for this data set that enables you to look at the effects over time within each person in the couple, but also the effects of each person in the couple on the other person in the couple, and separate those. I'm not going to try to explain the results of the study to you because I can't. Very complex. It's also one of those cases when in her dissertation committee and for her dissertation orals, we brought in a professor from another university because none of the members of the committee here actually understand the mathematical model that Jen Guerin learned in order to do this study. She is now, having finished that and finishing her internship, she will be going on to an excellent postdoc at the University of California, San Diego, where her mentor is actually another graduate of the Clinical Psychology program at USC. So it gives me great pleasure to put Jennifer Guerin.
So congratulations, Dr. Guerin. All of our graduates have tremendous CVs. They all have wonderful achievements. I read a couple of them out on a few students as they were whizzing by. Please forgive us for not saying everything about all of you and all your plans. You're all great. You're all doing wonderful things. And I'd like, if you would, everybody in the audience to join with me in congratulating our undergraduates, our certificate, our masters, and our PhD graduates today. Great pleasure to give the podium back to Dean Chassi Cohen for concluding. concluding remarks and jokes, maybe.
So today is all about our graduates, and we're really, really proud of them. And they work very, very hard to get to this point. And it's also about the parents, and I know there's a lot of parents here, and I know how proud you are of your young graduates. I don't know if you realize how difficult of a journey this was for them and how hard they worked. And it reminds me of this gerontology professor and two graduate students that were walking not far from here some years ago, and they found a lamp, and they picked it up, rubbed it, and a genie came out. And the genie said, "I'll grant each of you one wish." And the first graduate student, who was a very bright young lady, said, "You know, I'd like to be in the Bahamas on a yacht with a Mai Tai in my hand and a handsome gentleman beside me, and just relax a little bit." And poof, she disappeared to the Bahamas. Next, a graduate student, male person who was also very bright, he said, "You know, I'd love to be on a beach in Hawaii with a beer, a lovely companion by my side, and just relax a little bit." There, the gentleman is gone. So next, the genie says to the professor, "Okay, you're next. What would you like?" So the professor says, "Me, I'd like those two back in the lab after lunch." So that's the heart of our graduate students. That's their story. And I want to salute all of them. So if you are a graduating undergraduate, please stand up and remain standing. All of our undergrads, let's give them a hand. If you're a graduating master's student, please stand up and remain standing. If you're a graduating PhD student, please stand up and remain standing. We also want to make sure that we know how you got here. If you're part of the USC School of Gerontology faculty, please stand up and remain standing. If you're part of the staff of the USC School of Gerontology, please stand up and remain standing. If you're a parent of a graduating student, please stand up if you can. If you're a friend or a relative of a graduate, please stand up and remain standing. Now, if my mother was here today, she would think that I'm getting a standing ovation. Thank you.